Yes, my viewers and subscribers, with all this development taking place in St. Thomas and Portland, there must be some problems taking place along the stretch of road. So National Work Agency, China Harbour, Stanley Consultant, among other persons, came out to speak with the people in the Golden Grove area about this development. So on Thursday, the 25th of April, there was a meeting out by the Golden Grove Primary to assist residents of the surrounding area about what to expect and what should be done as it relates to the development of this road network. So here is the presentation.
I want to thank you for gracing us with your presence, having to do with 2 of the 5 packages that make up what we refer to as Tranche 3 of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. It's a project that is having far-reaching impact on the lives of many, not just here in the parish of St. Thomas, Portland as well, and to a certain extent St. Catherine, St. Andrew, but by extension the entire Jamaica. I know you're here this afternoon to hear of the plans that we have for this side of St. Thomas. The side that some of you would say have been forgotten. But I'm sure when you hear the kind of money that is going to be spent on this side of your parish, you will agree that good things are happening and better things are on the way. To share with us this afternoon, I want to introduce to you the team members, and I refer to that in a very broad way. I want to make mention of your Member of Parliament, Dr. Michelle Charles. Councillor McLeod. We have from China Harbour Engineering, Damien Anderson, who you'll hear from in a little bit. And my friends from, I won't try to pronounce the names, friends from China Harbour. Mr. Chi and Albert Giddings from Stanley Consultants. They are the persons managing the project on behalf of the government through the National Works Agency. I want to welcome you to this meeting, and I want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank members of the media who are also here. All right, so us being God-fearing people, my name is Stephen Shaw, Manager of Communication and Customer Services at National Works Agency. We are God-fearing people, and with that, wherever we go, we invoke the presence of the Almighty. And in this space this afternoon, I want to invite Pastor Cornwall to come forward and offer a word of prayer as we proceed with our meeting here in Golden Grove.
Eternal God and our everlasting Father, look to you in the name of Jesus. We pray, God, that, Lord, you will be with us and let everything be done orderly. We look unto the hills from whence cometh our help, knowing that our help cometh from you, God, which made heaven and earth. We tell you thanks for what is about to happen. Lord, we put you first. We give you the honor and the glory. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
I did say that we have the Member of Parliament who you warmly welcomed to this meeting, and I want to thank her too for her assistance in having this meeting convened this afternoon. So please help me welcome front and center your champion, your Member of Parliament, Dr. Michelle Charles.
Are you the man who welcome me to my yard?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Deputy Mayor Michael McLeod, Mr. Stephen Shaw, eloquent as usual. Members from China Harbor, Mr. Chief, just met you, Mr. Chief. Mr. Anderson, who I call and bother all the time. Stanley Consultant, all the stakeholders involved. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you that are here, a big thank you for coming and for participating. This Southern Coast Highway Improvement Project is the government's flagship program for the East. Want to see what I want? Yes. I'm so excited. Want to see what I want? Yes. Oh my goodness, things are going for us. When it comes to opening up St. Thomas for investment, for tourism, and for prosperity, and for delivering jobs for our people, this is the program that will do it. So thank you for coming, Mr. Shaw, and for all the stakeholders for joining in. Everyone involved, we're happy. We can't wait for you to explain this overview for the project and to answer all of our questions. We see what is going on. We are excited to hear about it, and we welcome you. God bless you all.
We have roughly 21 kilometers of road that we need to complete here in the parish of St. Thomas. That takes us from Prospect to the border of Portland up to the Horse Savannah Bridge. Some of you may remember some years ago under the, but you would know the program, and I'm just telling you, under the RMORI program, it's a bridge program that was done through the Canadian company. We actually replaced the Horse Savannah Bridge. And so that is really the point at which the St. Thomas roads would end, and it's roughly, as I said, just about 21 kilometers of road that we're going to be doing. The meeting this afternoon is meant primarily to treat with the package or the packages from Arcadia up to Horse Savannah. There are two packages. There's Arcadia to Amity, and then there is the Amity up to Horse Savannah. Amity Hall up to Savannah, Horse Savannah. It is our intention to engage MP, those persons on the other side, between Prospect and Amity Hall, or Arcadia, sorry. Because of the distance, we didn't want to, have persons traveling so far to come on this side. But we intend to engage them so that they can have the same understanding that we hope you will have when we're through with this meeting this evening, I'm sure. But just to say, in terms of there are 5 packages that comprise the final tranche of work that we are doing. When we started this journey in 2019, we had divided the stretch of road from Harborview to Port Antonio into 16 distinct packages or distinct projects. We had, you can call it 4 packages. There was our 4 tranches. There was one that dealt with the road from Harborview to Yallas. That, you know, has been completed, 4-lane highway in the main. And then we had 15 others. 13 of them dealt with the road from Yallas to Port Antonio, and we have 2 that treated with the road from Morant Bay up to Cedar Valley. So that made 15 distinct packages. And these packages were divided into 3 tranches. So we have done 10 plus the Harborview to Yallas, make it 11. And we have 5 that are outstanding. And 3 of the 5 are in St. Thomas. The other 2 are in Portland. So right now, the most of the heavy lifting is taking place on the St. Thomas side. So we are going to be going into Portland, but most of the heavy lifting now is taking place in St. Thomas. Now, what you will see is akin to that which we did on the other projects, meaning we have integrated water, telecoms, road into this big project. So we are going to be laying water lines, and to this end, on the 5 packages, we have just under $2.2 billion will be spent for new water infrastructure.
Hold on, can I clap for that?
Yes. Between package 6 and 7, which is that which we are talking about here, which is Amity Hall up to Port Savannah, the water, the cost for the water infrastructure will be more than $500 million, meaning over $500 million will be spent in this space on water infrastructure alone. In terms of the road, you have another $2.2, nearly $2.3 billion that will be spent to improve the road between Amity Hall and Horse Savannah. So added to the 500 and odd million water, you're looking at near $3 billion that is to be spent to improve the infrastructure on this side of St. Thomas, taking into consideration the road from Amity Hall up to Horse Savannah. Big deal.
Big deal.
In totality, what we are looking to spend as part of Tranche 3 is over $9 billion a lot of money is being pumped into this space as we seek to ensure that a greater amount of resilience is added to the infrastructure on this space. You'll find that a lot of new drainage features are going to be put down, especially on this side of St. Thomas, where we continue to have serious incidents of flooding. It's very important. I mean, if you for example look at that drain that has been built by Amity, gives you a good indication as to how the nature of the work that is going to be done, because the road is going to be lifted as high as that drain that you have seen. Because we have to make sure that the water issue, stormwater issue, is dealt with whenever we are finished with the road. It doesn't mean that you may not have flooding in the space. Again, doesn't mean that. And I want to make sure I point that out, because it depends on the nature of the rainfall. You may very well experience flooding. Those of you who watch international news saw what happened in Abu Dhabi a week ago. A whole lot, they got the amount of rain that fell in a day. When you'd have to add 24 months together, 2 years of rainfall happened in a day. That's a whole lot of rain. Flooded a whole lot of places. And so with climate change, all kinds of things happen. But what we are seeking to do is to ensure that we build a certain amount of resilience into the infrastructure. So where it would have been that persons are unable to go about their business for days at an end, the inconvenience might only be ours, because the infrastructure is built as such to facilitate the easier stormwater flows, and the quality of your road will be vastly improved. So it is not far-fetched for you to live in Golden Grove and work in Kingston, because you can drive to work and do so in a reasonable time. Right? So I've been asked to say it again. So it is not far-fetched. Once the work is complete, that you can actually live in Golden Grove and drive to Kingston for work and back, and do so in reasonable time, because you would have a reliable road network on which to move, free of the kind of impediments that you would have experienced for a very long time, and you are able to do so in a safe way. So that is the thinking that we have. Now, I'm going to invite Damien to come forward and tell us a little bit more about what China Harbour is doing. The difference with these last 5 projects and what obtained before is that these are being done by China Harbour. In the same way China Harbour did the bit from Harbour View to Yalas. We had subcontractors doing the ones from Yalas into Morant Bay and all of those others. The government has decided they're not subcontracting, because we have had serious challenges with the subcontracting arrangements. So China Harbour is now treating with the last 5 packages directly. And so we expect a vast improvement in how it is that these projects are executed and finished by early next year. All right, Damien?
Good evening. Member of Parliament, Dr. Charles, who I bother also a lot of time. It's vice versa. It's not just she bother me, I bother a lot of time to keep things smooth. Councillor MacLeod, Albert Gillings from Stanley, all of you ladies and gentlemen, beautiful, that have been here sitting, listening patiently. Stephen Shaw, a very good friend. Media team, also very good friends with Ruffle all the while. But welcome everybody and a wonderful evening. Alright, in terms of overview, Stephen would have said a lot. I don't know if there's much more to be said, but I'll just give you in terms of the construction operation of executing the packages. As Stephen would have said, the packages that we're focusing on is really from Arcadia to Amity Hall and from Amity Hall to Savannah Bridge. One of the first tasks that we carry out is really site clearance. So what you would see happening out there is us clearing the right-of-way, as we'd say, the government's right-of-way. You see a lot of excavators, backhoes, cleaning and probably even trespassing in some people's land. I hear people balling out already. But that's also another purpose of the meeting, that we all are clear and we can work together. Because the quicker we get some of the lands is the quicker we get to complete the project. So we want to have that type of relationship, right? So, as I said, site clearance and what we call roadway excavation is the first activity on the site. You would have seen a lot of areas where we're cutting the mountains, so that's called roadway excavation, where we shape the embankment. And then from there you would see where we're started. Stephen spoke about the drains, so we've started putting in some pipes. They call them HDP pipes. Now, as Stephen would have said, this is not a solution that there'll be no more flooding. So we're trying to improve the drainage system. It's not 100% fixed, because I mean we're designing a thing for 100 years, Stephen? 10 years. Right, 10-year storm event. So in that case where we get 100 year, it just won't last. But hopefully we don't get that, say, that least once in a while. Alright, so that's what it really means. When we say storm event like 1 in 10 years or 1 in 100 years. So this design is really for 10 years impact, not 100 years. So we try to keep it like that. Another activity which is ongoing is the drain works. You see we're building some new drains. That's also a part of the drainage feature. We also, I think we have started some retaining walls. That's like rubber stone walls. I really see a lot of that going on out there. Now, in terms of the pipeline, which is integral to the program, because a lot of times the pipeline aspect of the work, based on the conflict, it creates delays. So we intend to start pipeline that's in the Arcadia to Amity Hall area, that's like next week. So by next week we should start seeing excavation of pipes laying in the ground. Now just to give everybody an overview of the pipeline, because I've been battered about pipeline on tranche 1 and 2, that they see us excavate, put in the pipeline, then we excavate again, and maybe excavate twice. So a lot of people say, why we excavating twice? When we lay these pipes, we have to pressure test them. Now, pressure testing is a whole process by itself, and sometimes there are challenges. For various reasons. Sometimes the rubber, a simple sand grain can be in the rubber when the pressure test you get a leak. So you have to go back and excavate again. Also, you have situations where you have a defective pipe based on manufacturing error. And even with the labor in terms of the installation, because nobody's perfect. So these are things that can cause reinstallation. Another area where we do digging again, we, based on design, put stabilized base on top of the pipeline. So once the pipeline is pressure tested and approved, we normally put stabilized base, which is a mix of cement and marl, like a specific mix. Now this is to prevent, I know a lot of you probably have seen where pipelines are laid and you see that depression in the road. So that is to prevent that depression. So at times it becomes uneasy for the motorists because they say a leak again, but it's necessary. It's necessary after you do the pressure testing to dig. Normally we dig like a foot or 2 foot back down, put in the stabilized material. You really can't put in that material at the initial installation stage. So that's why you dig twice. So I just want to explain that when person see us digging and then we dig again, you don't say we just love dig and we try to find gold. A lot of times I say we're digging for gold. So I mean, I would have learned, from lessons learned. So this time around, it should be much easier. The pipeline aspect of the project, that aspect of it is being done by local subcontractors. So we have chosen the best of the best. So we have experimented with 10, 15 different subcontractors. So we have chosen 3, which we deem as the better subcontractors now to do the work in this state. So it shouldn't be as challenging as before. Now, after the pipeline, you will see activities like base work, so where we'll finalize the road with base. Now, that operation sometimes carries a lot of dust because you don't get much dust now when we don't dig up the road. But once you take off the asphalt and put the base, there will be dust. And I can tell you, 3 times wetting the road per day doesn't help. Even if you go out there sometime 10 times, it don't help. Because, sometimes the water truck passes like here, and by the time it go up the road and it come back down, it's dry again. So I'm going to ask you, even, we'll be wetting, but even if you get in with the dust, bear with us a little bit. You understand? And just bear with us a little bit. That's the base material. After we put in base, then we move to a curb and gutter operation, finalizing, as I said, at this stage we'll have put in the stabilized base, and then after we finalize curb and gutter, we're at blacktop. And I guess that's where everybody wants to reach. But we don't want to put on the blacktop and have to dig it up again. We don't want to cut it. So we try to execute in the best way as possible that we don't have to do that. Alright, so as a process, so I've walked you through the process of the construction from site clearance to asphalt, pipeline installation. Everybody clear? Right, so that's an overview of the scope of works that we carry. Thanks everybody.
Have them are narrow. They don't allow for the installation of sidewalks. They don't allow for 2 vehicles, 2 trucks to pass easily, side by side. And so, out of necessity, or that necessity, we will have to acquire slivers of land. There is a process that we have used for a very long time, where we engage through the National Land Agency to acquire those affected parcels, and we seek to do so through, most times, negotiations with the property owners And if the negotiations fail to resolve whatever the differences are, then the law empowers the government to go the route of what is called compulsory acquisition. There are, and I cannot tell you this evening here, while I'm here, how many parcels are going to be acquired or that are likely to be acquired. I know that we are going to be doing some acquisitions. We know we have light poles that will have to be relocated. And so there are those things that will impact persons. So for example, the relocation or relocate in us widening the road and us having to take a sliver of land, we may have to take down a boundary wall, build it back. One assurance I can give you is that whatever is taken, the owners with their bona fides will be compensated. I say that because sometimes, and we know how it is in Jamaica, you have persons who have properties that are titled, meaning you have a registered title. And you have those properties that rural folk will tell you they have a common law title or it is unregistered. And sometimes in both instances, you may have a title, but the title is not in your name. The title is in your grandfather, your mother, or your father's name. And those persons, unfortunately, are no longer with us. Similarly, if you have a common law title situation or unregistered land, the land is yours, yes, but the documents that you have suggest that the name or it is owned by your grandfather who died in 1970. And so those little nuances can cause hiccups in you being compensated in a short time or a shorter time. So I would encourage you where, if at all, any such situation exists and the road is going to touch and concern your property, you try and see how best those can be resolved so that when the team is coming through, you would have had most of your ducks lined up. There are times when I'm not looking at the corridor, Eamail, I'm not sure I've seen, Albert, where it is that we might have to demolish any houses. It doesn't look right. So there might be small structures that we may have to take down, maybe boundary walls, or a gateway that we have to relocate. What? Shops? Yeah. Right. So, and you will be advised in very, very short order where those situations exist. And as I said, where compensation is concerned, you can rest assured that you will be compensated for whatever it is that we take in respect of the road. All right. Question and answer. You identify yourself and pose your question, and let us see how best we can answer. Yes, sir.
My name is Timothy from Underwood.
You're from?
Hampton Court District.
Hampton Court, okay.
I hear you mention about water. The water project and all that.
Yes.
Are you going to build a new well? Are you going to bring in a new line? Where the water going to come from?
All right. I work with the National Works Agency, not the National Water Commission. I don't know if a member of parliament can assist you with an answer to that, but I cannot speak about water source. That is not part of my remit. I can tell you about the road and what the project is going to be delivering. Beyond that, I am unable to say anything as it relates to the source for water.
So here's a follow-up question to that. If you're going to put pipes for water, you must think about the source and where it's going to come from.
No. You might have a point. But follow me now. You seem to be someone of senior years. You have lived
Here, for years.
for plenty years. All right.
Close to Amityville, in the army.
All right. And you have traveled around Jamaica. You have.
Yeah, man, I'm over the island.
All right. So you are aware of a situation where, for many years, government fixes a road, and no sooner than the road being fixed, you see a piece of equipment starting to excavate to put in water lines. Yeah. You haven't seen that in your many years. All right. So part of what we are doing is recognizing the waste and the challenges that that approach of prior years have caused, is to move with the time, which is to ensure that the critical infrastructure is there, because you can ensure the water lines are put in place, they are tested to ensure that there are no leaks, and once they are satisfied that they are okay, then you move on. I cannot tell you that the ministry, through the National Water Commission, they are not looking at the source. That must be something that is being considered. But it's just that I cannot speak on it. My remit is to speak to the road that we're going to be doing and what comes as part of the road infrastructure works. Are we clear? Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Timmy from Stoke. How far away is your house should be from the road? And suppose you are paying lease. Is it, and your lease paper is in your name, it's a problem for you to get a different copy from the person that you have got the land from?
All right. So your last question, you're paying lease.
Yes.
And you want to know what exactly?
How far your house?
Come on, I heard that.
Yeah.
But
No,
what?
if you
So in
like-
terms of the lease,
Yeah. No, I mean that if they're gonna use your structure going to go away and you have
Yes.
a lease paper,
yes.
so if you should get a paper from the person that you have the land from.
Okay. All right. So if it is that you have a structure on the lease land, our approach has been to value that structure. You value the structure and you'll be compensated for the structure. You cannot be compensated for the land because the land is not yours. So that is how we work with that. In terms of the distance, is what, 25 feet from the center line? We expect that your structure, if you look at the road, consider this whiteboard as the road. And so the middle of it is here. Yeah? You're supposed to be, let us say this is 30 feet on either side. So, and this is called 5 feet. So you should be 25 feet from the center line. So from here your building can be 25 feet. So if it comes to 20, you're in breach. You follow? All right. So what persons may do is that if you have like a boundary fence, you could put it here. Boundary fence can easily be moved. But a structure, a different kettle of fish. Pastor.
Suppose the land, I heard you say that about family, it's a family land.
Yes.
And they leave you in charge of the land because most of the other families going on. And the person is paying the taxes for the land.
All right. I heard you saying that persons would have left you in charge.
Yes.
So the person who owns, who have the paper title.
If that person has that's the government man on. And I am if you left me in charge of the land, I am going to be taxes for so many years.
All right. So hold on now. So you have a piece of land that your aunt owned. Your aunt has died or she's alive? She died. So you had received the title from her, or what did you get from your aunt?
I got the diagram, a diagram.
Oh, you got a diagram.
Yeah.
Okay, which suggests then that the land is not titled. It is what we loosely call a common law title, or it's unregistered.
It's registered.
All right. You have something? Let me see. All right. So this here is this is a survey diagram.
Hold a minute. Yes.
It's a survey diagram that you have, and this diagram is dated 1965, 9th day of May 1965, and it is whose name is it in? I don't. Looking to see if there's a name. I don't see a name on it. Oh yes. Prudence Cornwall is on it.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the only thing that you have.
Yeah, and this is what I paid it at.
Right. Okay. So and the taxes have Prudence Cornwall's name on it.
And mine.
And your name.
I'm in possession.
You're in possession. All right. But you're not the owner. So if your property were to be impacted, the property that you're in possession of, you need to do something. You need to get a title. The government will pay you, but not before you're legally registered. What you have now, land exists on two limbs. You have a beneficial ownership and a legal ownership. The two things, the ideal is for both to come together. Right? It comes together when you have a registered title to show that, hey, there's a registered title, bars, it gives you certain rights. Bars other people from coming on and claiming and all that kind of thing, outside of certain things that are recognized by law. What you have to do, sir, you said that your aunt gave you the property.
It's a family. It's the Cornwall family.
So
I am in charge.
Right, but so then what you'd have to do then, if it is for the Cornwall family, then you need to get it registered and put every Cornwall family member's name on the title. Yes. That is what you have to do. And then, in order to collect from government, if it is that government touches your land, then everybody from the Cornwall family who's entitled needs to give some sort of concept, you have to write something and the government will then pay the money.
They put me in charge.
Yes. What does that mean?
Because
Huh?
I must see to it that whoever lives there or ever public.
Is it written anywhere? Did she die living a will?
No, I know I'm buried dead.
Did she live a will?
No.
And so, matters to do with land, property,
I know.
word of mouth, not by word.
I know. Because
So, since
I
you
worked
know,
with the government for 10 years,
right,
right out here, as the grade one clerk code for the parish of Settlement.
yes,
And I studied in New York.
yes,
And I'm a paralegal also.
yes,
My brother has a piece of property around here also, of which I have the title. He's in America, he's in Canada. I come up the title on my phone to show he was here, and they go on the property without asking permission
Alright.
and start to take down the property. I came, he gave me the permission to stop them, and I went and stopped them.
Yes.
Right now we have a lawyer,
yes,
and the lawyer is Mr. Gray.
yes.
And Mr. Gray, it is in Mr. Gray hand.
I'm sure I'm aware of that particular situation. I'm almost sure I'm aware of it.
There were-
But that is something that, again, we can deal with and we are prepared to deal with. But for persons who have documents such as this, until you are able to show,
I'll get it fixed.
yes.
I'll get it fixed.
So once you fix it, you're good to go. The compensation will come.
So, what is going to happen? They're going to go ahead and take the place before I get it fixed?
The road,
Yeah.
the road, the government will not wait until you fix something that has been, because remember now, that diagram will only assist in a very small way. The land will have to be resurveyed. The diagram is old.
I resurveyed that, and the man that I will forget the survey from. He did not give me the survey.
Well, that's
I
a,
have to be going back now to another survey
yeah,
to
so,
come and survey the land.
right, so make sure when you get the survey done, so you need a pre-checked diagram, not just a survey diagram. Request a pre-checked diagram. A pre-checked diagram can serve for 7 years. After 7 years, it's either you redo it or you get a declaration done. But that is what you need as a first step to obtaining a registered title. Based on what you have said to me. And then there are certain other things that you'll have to do. But since you have Mr. Gray can advise. You don't need me to tell you. Alright? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Adrian from Koi, right?
Kwa Hill?
Yeah.
Yes.
Most of the land them up here, we don't have the title deed. All we have is like the receipt. That would be a finished pay for the land.
Yes.
Years old, they would do it.
Okay. So you would have bought the lands from government?
Yeah. But land agency, we support them.
From the land agency. Alright, so since this is the land agency, who will go through in treating with the acquisitions. And if they are, I suppose, what are these land settlement schemes?
Yes.
The land settlements?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So the NLA deals with land settlements. So I am fairly confident that they will treat with those nuances when it comes to that point, because they are the ones who directly deal with issues to do with land settlements. All right, so I would be too worried about that. And that's something that I know they deal with almost every day. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcia Brown. I'm from Richmond. My concern is I have my title, my registered title, but my store pit is very close to the main road. And where I see they put some peg,
Yes.
it almost run nearby. So I am really curious. I would like to know if it will pose a threat to my pit.
All right. So you're one person who will speak with Albert after the meeting, because we need to get your particulars so that you can get proper guidance as to where that is.
Albert, please.
This gentleman in the orange vest there,
Okay.
you came when Damien was speaking, Sanderson?
No, I came in because I was at work.
Oh, okay. Well, the good thing is that you're here, and thank you for coming.
Okay.
All right, but we'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, my name is Flavia Wilson. I'm from Amity all the time. I live in here, I live in the East Hall, first year. But I have a small shop on the roadside in Amity Hall.
Yes.
I purchased it for an artist, so I only have the receipt for the building.
Yes, so you want to know whether or not your building is going to be impacted?
Well, this is some pictures.
Oh, it's our pegs there. All right. More than if it is close to the road, there's a strong possibility that it will be. Okay. How we treat with those things is that where we can be satisfied that you are the legitimate owner of that building, because you know how it is. Sometimes they have 5 people claiming ownership on everything, you know. Yeah? And government has to be careful. We have to be careful when we are treating with these situations. So there are certain things that are going to be required of you. Not things that are going to be difficult, but we are going to be needing some sort of proof to say that, yes, you are who you are, and it is you and not your twin sister who lives in Canada. Yeah? There's all kinds of things happen in these situations. So, normal procedure is that you get everybody along the road from Amity Hall all the way to Savannah Bridge. Once you're on the roadside or close to the road, everybody gets a notice. Everyone. That is what we call it's called like a gazette. A gazetted notice. It's called a section 3 notice. It's notice to everybody under the Land Acquisition Act. Once it is determined that Mary, Tom, Jane, Susie, those persons are not going to be impacted. But John, Zephaniah, Ezekiel, Mark, and Hosea will be impacted. We then give those persons another notice, which is what we call a Section 5 notice. If you get a second notice, it suggests that your property is going to be impacted, either in terms of a boundary fence to be taken down, a gateway to be relocated, or a shop that is within the right of way that we need to remove. Once we get that, we then kick in the process to treat with compensation. Right? and you're compensated.
Where will we get the notice from?
All right, the notice will come out of the NLA, but it will be officers who work with the National Works Agency who would then be fanning out over the place to have them presented to the different people. But it has to, there's a process. It has to be, you heard about the gazette. So the notice has to be gazetted. That's a process. So I'm aware that it is something that is being worked on. I can't tell you when, but I don't expect it to be too long from now.
Is it something that's going to be mailed?
No, man. No mail.
So how do we...
You will see it. Persons will come out into the community, and if it is that you're not home, you may come and find it on your gate, paste up, or your door or something. But you will get something. Yes, MP.
I'm also passing around a book, so if you'd like to have direct information when NWA passes it on to me, then just add your name, phone number, we can WhatsApp you the information, or
Good.
also add your email address, and we'll continue to pass that information. With regards to Mr. Wilson and NWC, I've begun a series of meetings with National Water Commission. So listen out for the meeting coming to your area soon. So it's a little meeting like this, lots of community meetings, so everyone can ask the questions. So we'll ask them that when they come to your area. Okay? So just give us your phone number that you'd like to receive the WhatsApp information on, and your email address, and we'll be happy to share that with you as well. Okay?
All right. Yes, and Alfonso.
If the person have acquired like piece of land without any form of receipt from the government land, then there's a compensation to that person.
That's a very important question. Interesting question, actually. So the person went on the government's land.
The reason why I see it, because I also I'm chair on a plan. We serve a lot of notice for those on that stretch of Portman, where there's really a stop order and it's still continuing. But when you measure that less than the 25.
Yes.
So I just want to find that I know when you come and ask the question. Because get the stop order and still proceed. But massive building that they're taking and that's what I'm doing.
Well, you know, that is going to be something that when those discussions come about will certainly be taken on board. Because if you continued a construction illegally, having been advised not to, then do you really think that the government should compensate you? All right, so that is something that will have to be looked at, and each case will have to be treated on its own merit.
Is there a certain turnaround time for when you get compensated?
All right, generally, when you enter into negotiations with the government and you get, and you agree on whatever it is that the figure is, the usual practice is that you're paid, I believe, half of the money, and at the back end, when the project is finished, and all the technical things are done, you collect the remainder. Why do I say this? There are times when, so we say that we are going to be taking from you 10 square meters of land. That is what we had set ourselves. And we pay you half of the money for the 10 square meters. But then, when the project is finished, we did not take 10, we took 7. So, If it is that we only took 7, then we shouldn't pay for 10. On the other hand, we may say that we are going to be taking 10, but then in executing the project, we found that, you know, it is far better from a technical point of view in terms of elevation and drainage and all those other things that we take into consideration. Rather than take 10, it would be far better for us to take 12 or 12.5. Now, if we had paid you for 10 before, would still be outstanding 2.5. And so for good order, and then your title where you have it has to be modified to show the bit that would have been taken off. Right? Sorry? No, you don't pay. The government does that. Right? And so if the government were to have modified the title before, then something happens, then you're talking about modifying the modification. It's gonna just untidy. So we do these things at the back end of the project. And so we started officially, even though you never see the heavy equipment on the road and all of those things. We started it in October of last year. So we are going somewhere towards the middle of 2025. We should be finished. Alright? Yeah. So we should be finished with this somewhere towards the middle of next year. But as we progress towards the end of the year, I am expecting that we're going to be seeing at least some improvement in the driving condition. And I must warn you, in some sections, it's going to get worse before it gets better, because of the nature of the work that must be done. When we start to dig the trenches for the water lines, the road is going to be removed. You're not going to be having 2 lanes, you're going to be single lanes. You're going to be having the issue with dust, where you have water. Now, you may get your water being disrupted, because water commission will migrate you from the old line to the new line. Those persons who are thieving water will find themselves in problems because they will not be migrating onto the new line, and some of those persons will complain. We know all of these things, MP, based on experience. Councillor, you know, so if you tap into the thing and NWC don't know you, you understand, you're going to have a little bit of a difficulty. But that is for NWC and yourself to deal with. We really though want to work together. We want to ensure that at the end of the day, the people of St. Thomas, the people of Eastern St. Thomas in particular, get a good quality product. And you in return will ensure that there plenty open land on around the place. We're going to put them in a good use, so that we can flood Coronation Market with all of the good produce that St. Thomas can put out, or whatever it is else that you guys can come forth with, to make sure that we have a better Jamaica land we love.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie Brown. All right, my question, are we to believe that once the peg is, say for example, behind our shop or on our shop step, that we will be affected?
Albert, you want to come and help me here?
The pegs are they're going around and, you know, pounding in the road.
Still in the matter.
Yes.
The steel.
It's highly likely, because the pegs represent the extent of the road. But sometimes in assessing the situation, it's similar when you have utilities in the way. There may be an opportunity to where we could make some modification. And I would say as we get closer and closer to the completion of the road. But some things are obvious and clearly, as Steve said, you've been notified already of the intent. So this is a small structure, or this is actually, this is a small structure?
I'm just asking in general.
Oh, so wherever, yes. So usually where you see the fence is the extent of the road construction.
Okay.
All
Alright, so I have another
right. The extent of the
question.
road construction.
So I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for many years, when we, or for a few months or many months, when we had the subcontractors in this side of Eastern St. Thomas, they did a whole lot of rubbish. I, for one, refer to them as the foolish virgins and the wiser ones going to Portland. What I want to know now is, with the subcontractors that are doing the pipes, will they be supervised or, rigorously by the Chinese or whoever is in charge?
All right, so it was very complicated in the first two tranches. Yes, I must say it was very unfortunate. I have to apologize for those. There's a lot of lessons that was learned. And as Damien articulated, the arrangement is different. So the accountability, as with Chancho and Chancho, however, the contracting arm is going to be the main contract. So previously, they had the main contractor and the subcontractor. So predominantly the construction. And so we've been much more involved as a supervisor agent to ensure that these level of disruption or what I would say inconvenience and probably disrespectful at times is avoided.
From our standpoint, as the agency responsible, we are truly looking forward to the works under this tranche because we are going to be pouring into these projects all the positive experiences that we have had and also ensuring that the negative experiences are not repeated in the case of the last 5 tranches. That assurance I can give you here this afternoon still. All right? You wanted to say something before, sir?
No, I was saying where Mr. Anderson mentioned about the dust. Right? I know all of you inside here have families and friends driving on the road. Sometimes the drivers don't drive too fast through the dust. Believe me, they can't take them time through the dust. They keep speeding through the dust and people walking. Exactly. Right? Again, I'm not sure if you can get police personnel sometimes where they are working because the drivers then keep cutting the lines and causing problems on the road. I'm out there every day with this, doing my stuff, and I catch a lot of them doing it. So if you can get the police out there sometimes.
Boy, I tell you, if you go to get police in every location,
it's not.
But I think I take your point in terms of the speed at which persons travel. I mean, I drove here from Portland side, and even though some sections of the road bad by some standards, not by every standard, because I've seen worse. Persons were barreling towards me. You understand? My friends were saying, boy, these people are not easy at all. So we really have a problem in terms of the speed at which people travel. And I'm hoping that, we can be a little more, what's the word now? I don't know. Caring, should I say, when we're dealing with each other we can show a little bit more pride in not throwing things through bus windows and doors, as I saw driving here. Persons just throwing garbage out of the window of a bus. And I'm saying to myself, look at that. Every year we spend millions and millions of dollars cleaning drains. Can you imagine if we were able to pump those monies into fixing bits and pieces of road rather than cleaning drains filled with PET bottles and bags and all kinds of things? If we were to do that for 10 years, we'd have quite a bit of money to treat with some of the minor roads. 10 years I will give the money to Councillor McLeod and his colleagues in different parochial divisions around the country. You know, so those are some of the things that really we need to take on board as a people, because Jamaica is for us, and we really need to ensure that we take a little bit more pride in how we treat with our natural environment. I'm hoping that in terms of the new road that you guys are going to be getting, the new drainage features, that you will help to ensure that these are kept in pristine ways to mitigate the incidents of flooding that we experience in some of these areas. I'm hoping that you will not treat with these drains as incinerators, as we have seen in other areas. They are plastic pipes, and if you use the catch pits to burn garbage, what usually happens is that the plastic pipe gets burned from beneath the road, and you don't know that the road is floating. In other words, there's nothing holding up the embankment. And then you have flood rains, and God forbid, a bus laden with school children drops down in one of those. That's the kind of thing we're trying to avoid. So please help us to help you to keep our infrastructure in good order. One more question and then we can run our road. Yes?
If thanks government in a power do this center master, here run also for long hard now. I know when a good road corner, develop go around now. I want to be a better place. Sure of that. Future of a good year.
Alright.
I would like to know about the road and seal road. Right now it's in the third condition.
Is that what I was, or one of yours?
No, here.
That's part of the SG project?
No, that's not part, but it's a
Which road section is that?
So when you are at the order where the offices go straight up to it.
Oh, up that one. Where that road takes you?
Oh.
Oh.
That's the main road.
That's the main road?
That's the main road.
That was when he was a little boy.
Yeah. That was the main road.
How many people live up there now? Like how many? 20,000?
Maybe somebody there can answer that.
Yeah?
Maybe somebody
but you know.
There's a school in the community, sir.
Yeah, alright. How many students at the school? What
Seven.
7?
7.
Oh, I thought you said 7. Because I said 10, I said 7.
It's about,
sorry, I heard.
It's about 2 miles of road. Houses on both sides.
Yeah.
So it's a very big community.
Right. Alright, not discounting what you're saying, but we have a lot of roads that require fixing. A whole lot. When you look at if we were to remove some of the money from the road from Amity or from Prospect to the border, many persons would complain. We look at, I think, the government recognizing that we have not spent as heavily as we would have, or we should have, over many years, has come up with a program which they have intimated will be a rolling one. And as a SPARK program, you'd have heard the Prime Minister speaking to a 40 billion program to treat with roads across the country. Some minor roads and some main roads. My understanding is that it is not meant to be a one-off program, but one that will be continuing. It is through programs such as this that we'll be able to treat with a road such as yours. Right? Yes.
Let me also add to that. So $150 million to every constituency to begin. So what I would say is to tune in, follow me, because I can't send a town crier around everywhere. So follow me online so that you can at least get to find out. This program, the Prime Minister has started the Sparks program. He has made sure that he included in that program that every member of Parliament must have a community meeting with the CDF officers. So I will be having 4 separate meetings in the 4 different divisions. So this is one of the reasons why I say please give me your cell phone numbers, stay tuned with WhatsApp, because some people are not home when we send a town crier out, and people don't listen to the radio anymore, you know? So give me your email, stay in touch with me, and listen out for that community meeting. And when I come to the Bath community, you can fight for Rollinsfield, because I don't get to choose the road. The community gets to choose the road. We can't do every single road. 150 million sounds like a lot, but divide that into 4, because I can't give Bath more than I give Deputy Mayor. He's gonna fight for his amount. So when we have the community meeting in the Bath division, come and explain why you believe that the Rollinsfield Road is better to be fixed than the one in Fairfield, Beacon Hill, Sunny Hill, and I can continue. All right.
I, for one, am very happy to see the developments happening in Eastern St. Thomas and to see young people working again.
All right. Okay. So I did say earlier that in terms of the span of the project, we expect it to be finished next year, by the middle of next year. All right. That is when the road from Prospect to Savannah Cross is expected to be completed. We are here at Golden Grove Primary School, and I want to thank the Golden Grove Primary School family for inviting us here this afternoon. I want to thank you for coming out and lending us your ears. Golden Grove, thank Councillor MacLeod for assisting me in having this meeting organized and did a lot of the legwork for me. I want to thank you, Councillor. Much appreciated. Thank the team from Stanley, from Chec, and the media people. But we're not leaving. China have a bring gifts for Golden Grove Primary. So, Damian and Chi, Ching. So, guess what? So, if you have children coming to Golden Grove Primary, students, I tell you. So watch this now. This was the plan there. But we come with gifts. So you have given us something, and you're getting something in return. Thank you, Golden Grove School.
You're going to give them idle leave for the school,
The school is going to give them.
Okay.
He's just showing our things.
Right.
Let me get the picture. No. So, school getting markers, pencils, pencil case, and same thing. Yeah, so you're getting markers, pencil case, and pencils. Yes, so nice things. And I'm sure the students at Golden Grove Primary will welcome the gifts, and we are very happy to work with the institution, to work with the community, and who knows, maybe China Harbour will throw a little bit in the mix later on by fixing the road to the school at the back end of the project.
Not just to do like
I want some just leveling it up. That's right. Just leveling up the sports thing. Just leveling it up.
All right, just level it. All right. So you being so nice, we'll do it twice and thrice. All right, let's see if we can work with. I work with Damien, and we get something. No, I believe that when we have these types of projects, beyond the road that we are giving the people, there are other types of legacies that we ought to leave with them. And so, if we can assist through China Harbour to level this place for the children, I'm sure it will be done. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and we look forward to working with you to ensuring that we have a very successful execution of this work under Tranche 3 of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. Blessings, have a good one.